scorer in the SWAC from Alcorn State is Troy Jackson.
And he will shoot it from anywhere. You see him backing in on the inside for the two. Comes in his defensive play with a steal, though he was called for a foul. No surprise he is there. But how about some authority from Jackson on the breakaway? Troy Jackson so far 4 of 6 from the field. He's taken 2 3-pointers. Hasn't hit either one of them yet. But Jackson has 8 points to lead the way, and he is on his way to the free throw line, where he's going to have his first attempt from the line of the night and a chance to get to double digits in the first half. 7:40 to go. Leading the SWAC over 20 points a game. Also almost 3 steals a game. He thought he got away with one a little early when they called him on the foul.
Yeah, leading in the offense categories and in defense categories in the SWAC. He also leads by far in minutes played. 2 more minutes a game than anybody else in the SWAC. 37.5 minutes a game. And the leading scorer is not afraid to shoot. Also has a good margin in shots taken too as he makes the free throw. He has 9. Alcorn State has a 22-21 lead. This is a game that tempo might be a factor. The Jags like to keep the game in the 60s if they can. Alcorn State doesn't mind getting into the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, they'll take it to the 70s or 80s. The problem has been they've let their teams get in the 80s or 90s. They'll put some points on the board. The weakness for Alcorn State has been the defense. They haven't been able to match what they've been giving up to opponents.
Julius Ingram stays in the game for the Jags. He gets it off to Chris Davis, Stephon Wiley. Bigger lineup here for the Jags with Honore, Ingram, and Ernest Jones. There's a shot by Davis. He has his first 2 on senior day.
Missed his first 6 shots from the field, including 3 3-pointers, but Davis finally breaking that slump, getting on the scoreboard.
As Chris Davis goes, off and so goes the Southern offense. Missed shot there, rebound by Jones, trying to start the break. Chris Davis runs into his own player. And they're going to say it's a foul on Alcorn State. It looked like he ran into Honore.
Boy, Antonio Jones getting the call for Alcorn State, but it may be Barry Honore who should get the call, which of course is his own teammate. But watch right here. He actually runs into the shoulder of his teammate, and somewhere along the way they call the reach-in foul on Antonio Jones. And boy, you really have to look long and hard to find where that foul came from.
That's 2 bad ones against Alcorn State today. The steal by Jackson, and hey, good break for Southern. People watching here in Louisiana, but those are some 2 bad calls against the Braves. As Chris Davis makes the free throw. I mean, that was blatant running into your teammate. Davis, who told us at halftime of the women's game, he's really worked hard on shooting free throws over his career, shooting the best free throws of his life this year, now up to 76% as he's 2 for 2 today. Jags lead it by 2. Getting the break there on what looked like Davis running into Barry Honore, but a foul called on Alcorn State. Trying to get the ball down low, going up strong against Barry Honore, not getting it to go was Gifford Blakely. Back come the Jaguars. Jaguars lead by 2, 6.5 to go in the first.
Smart play by Davis that time to pull it out. Saw that he didn't have numbers 1 on 3. Waited for his teammates to come down, and then they swing it around, and sure enough, get the 3-pointer that time from the corner by Stephon Wiley.
Stephon Wiley is feeling it. He's had a couple 3 balls. Actually, the last shot he made, it looked like it was a 3. They called it a 2, but he's still got 5 points, and the Jaguars lead by 5. There's a putback by Jarvis Williams. Jones is triple teamed at the top of the free throw lane, and he has it stolen away. Alex Savannah, the freshman, all the way by himself, and that would have been off of Southern, but for some reason Antonio Jones tried to save it, and last touch by Alcorn State.
Go back and show the last 3-pointer, which this one legitimate 3-pointer from behind the line, nowhere close to hitting the white tape that time. Stephon Wiley, who hit the 3-pointer from the corner for the Jaguars.
We got a score update there, huh? Something that hasn't happened since the decade of the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. Score update from Lexington, Kentucky. Tasman Mitchell for the LSU Tigers hits a 3-pointer with 10 seconds to go. Kentucky can't answer. LSU wins at Rupp Arena 73-70, and in the process clinches the outright SEC championship and gets its first win in Lexington since 1989.
Unbelievable. They never play well against the Wildcats.
13 straight. Now for LSU, they started the SEC with a loss in Tuscaloosa and haven't lost in conference since. The only loss was a non-conference game against Xavier, who at the time was number 10. So congratulations to Trent Johnson and the LSU Tigers, and that's a game that we will highlight for you tonight on CST tonight at 7 o'clock.
Watch for that tonight with Paul Crane and my partner Victor House, CST tonight, along with some highlights of this one as well. And you may see that shot by Chris Davis all the way in for his 7th point in transition. Jags lead by 7. Chris Davis has 6. Jags lead by 7. Ball off the knee of Antonio Jones, recovers and shoots an air ball, recovered by the freshman Alex Savannah. He puts it back in.
Savannah just in the right place at the right time. That air ball wound up being like a pass to the 5'10 Savannah, who was on the baseline all alone. Got the easy 2.
Stephon Wiley was in trouble, and he ends up traveling. It'll be Alcorn State basketball down 5.
You know, while we're giving score updates, you mentioned earlier talking about Southern baseball around the corner. Heard them announce a score update from Prairie View as Prairie View wins the first game 5-2 over Roger Cador's Southern Jaguars, as they have, believe it or not, opened up SWAC play. The season's only, what, 2 weeks old? They're already getting into SWAC play, playing over at Prairie View. The basketball team's headed there next weekend. And
every game Southern's been right there, where base hit here or there, they could have won the game. Instead, I think they only have 1 win on the season now against 4 losses. But Roger Cador will have a way and figure a way to get them back in to the thick of the SWAC race, despite what happens today at Prairie View. Looked like they wanted to bring Jonathan Boyd in the game, but he's still getting that left hand worked on, as you can see on the bench for Alcorn State. Down 5, Troy Jackson in the game. They swing it for a 2-pointer on the line, shot no good. Taken by Anthony Ford. Jags with a rebound. Jags doing a good job lately limiting the Braves to 1 shot. Davis can't get that one to go. Chris battling for the loose ball, and he knocked it out of bounds. They're going to say Southern basketball. Thought Chris Davis touched it last.
I was agreeing with you there. I thought it went off of Davis's hands, but nice shot by Davis to hit the floor, get aggressive, get on the floor to try to get position. We'll take another look from underneath the basket. Watch the layup just miss off to the side. Now Davis is going to stay with the play, get on the floor after it, and it looked like, yeah. Looks like Davis actually was the one that slapped it out of bounds. They say it went off an Alcorn State hand, and the Jaguars will take advantage by getting a 3-pointer.
Jazz Williams, his 30th 3 of the year. He had a couple of good looks early. That time he buries it, and the Jags have an 8-point lead, their biggest lead of the day.
Williams had one of his better games of the year when these two teams met early this season, 12 points. He was 4 of 12 from behind the line in that game. All of his points coming from 3-point territory.
Jazz is one of those guys who can go 0 for 3 or 4 and then hit 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5. As the Jags pick up a foul there, they have an 8-point lead to the Southern Jaguars with 3:39 left to go in the first half. Back with more after this. Senior Day 2009, as the seniors were honored. That was Chris Davis. There's Stephon Wiley, Jerry Guillory, the other senior guard on the men's team. Davis getting a handshake and a hug from his head coach, Rob Spivery. All the seniors get their jersey framed up, ready to go. Chris Davis, of course, wears number 10. Deidre Jackson also was honored for the ladies in between games of the doubleheader. As the women won the front end against Alcorn State, the men trying to complete the sweep of the Braves here in game 2. 35-27, 3:39 to go. What jumps out at you in the stats so far?
Well, so far, Alcorn State comes in leading the SWAC in three-point field goal percentage. However, they're just 1 of 8 in this ball game, 12.5%. The one three-pointer coming from Anthony Ford, who's 1 for 3 for the game. So you know they're going to shoot three-pointers, and there's another one right there. But now that makes them 1 of 9 for the SWAC's leading three-point shooting team.
There's 2 of 10, though, as Anthony Ford has hit the only 2 for Alcorn State. And the Jags now lead by 5. Biggest lead was 8 just a moment ago. Brandon White into the game for Southern. He wears number 2, his first action of the game. Doug Scott also has checked back in for the Jaguars. Here's Barry Honore. We've seen his touch from the outside. Big man can shoot it.
I like his touch, too, for the games. A few games we'll have a chance to do with you here, Todd, and watching him in person. Big fella can come outside as a nice jump shot, nice soft jump shot, high arcing range on his jumper.
There's a clean block by Honore, who leads the team in blocks, and knocked that shot away from Jarvis Williams.
Here's another look at Honore. As you see, he keeps separation, so no body contact. Clean block, as Todd mentioned, knocking it out of bounds.
Rarely will Alcorn State get the shot clock into single digits. They usually take a shot within the first 10 to 15 seconds on the clock. Right now, Southern leading by 7. 3 ball from Doug Scott. He hits that one. Douglas Scott from Baton Rouge Estruma High School has 7 points, and the Jags lead by 10, their biggest margin. Typical Alcorn State game with a game up tempo and a high score going towards the 2-minute mark in the first half. Troy Jackson, leading scorer in the SWAC, gets fouled on his way up.
Barry Honore sending the message there to the SWAC's leading scorers. He took it to the inside. Honore going up for the strong foul, forcing him to earn the points from the free throw line.
Honore's first. Only Jerry Guillory for the Jaguars has more than 1 foul. He has 2. 16 fouls on Southern, but that was a shooting foul against Troy Jackson. You can see what Troy's done so far in this game. 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 77% free throw shooter. Now a perfect 3 of 3. As Ernest Jones checks back in for Honore, who just picked up his first foul. Jags have controlled the rebounding. Last time out, it was 19-11 in favor of the Jags, and that's no surprise. Just like the women's game, the Jags are number 1 in the conference in rebound margin, and Alcorn State's number 10. Jackson misses the second. He has 11 points. Jags with the ball in a 9-point lead. Jazz Williams will direct the offense and get it back to Brandon White. Chris Davis now against Jumani Reed, gets by his man and lays it around and out. Rebound last touched by the Jags. Davis made a great move, but just couldn't quite get the roll.
Tough break by Davis because the 2-footed jump stop allowed him to change direction. He was heading to the middle of the lane, did a great job of coming down, landing on 2 feet, and off the leap, went from going left to going right. So a great change of direction to give him the layup. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the friendly roll to get the 2 points.
Jumani Reed, who let Davis by defensively, takes a seat on the Alcorn State bench. Here's Troy Jackson one-on-one against Davis. This guy always has the green light. This time he's double teamed, still with the dribble. He takes a 3 and hits it. Wow.
And a fadeaway at that.
Wow.
Dribbles into traffic, gets out of traffic, then fades away from dead on and hits the 3.
For a lot of players in the SWAC, that's a bad shot that might get you a seat on the bench if you miss it. But for Troy Jackson, it's whenever you want to shoot, go ahead.
And you notice there was absolutely no reaction from the coaching staff. It was just like, all right, nice job. Come on down, play some defense. We've seen this show before.
He has got 14, game high. That's nothing new. And a steal by Alcorn State. Doug Scott almost had the re-steal back, but he picked up team foul number 7. His first, but it'll put Alcorn State on the board.
Watch the kind of trouble Troy Jackson gets into as he dribbles to the free throw line, sees traffic, so he decides to go backwards about 5 feet and then fades away. And I mean, not even close to hitting the rim. You see where he's standing and watch where he winds up shooting. A good foot behind the three-point line, and that doesn't come close to hitting the rim. That's as pure as it gets on a fadeaway three-pointer.
Alex Savannah doesn't normally see a lot of playing time, but he's played a lot here in the first half, and we have a lane violation before Alex Savannah's shot went in. It was a lane violation on the Braves, so it negates the made free throw, plus it was a 1-and-1. That could have been a 2-point mistake. And Larry Smith says, I can't believe we're doing stuff like that.
That'll get them up and frustrated. The fadeaway three-pointer, not so much.
That has the first-year head coach walking all the way to the other end of the bench. And we have a timeout called by the official. Apparently Alex Savannah has a cut of some sort and had to leave the game. He's bleeding, says the official. They need a fifth player, and they're going to force Alcorn State to take a timeout here because they were taking too much time to get, oh, a warning. Savannah bleeding in the mouth as he is replaced. Chris Davis shot no good. Put back no good. Ernest Jones missed an easy one. Alcorn State back with the basketball. Guy that just came in to the game for Alcorn State, for Alex Savannah, turns the ball over. He wears number 31. We'll tell you who he is when we find it out. 31.5 seconds left. 30-second timeout called here. Southern a little sloppy going to the end of the first half. Still lead it by 6, but not the way Rob Spivery wants to see things closed out this half. There you see where Southern is. A 2-game gap between them and Arkansas Pine Bluff in 4th, and also a game and a half gap between them and Alabama A&M in 5th. So a good chance they'll end up 5th, and if they do, they'll probably end up playing either A&M, Prairie View A&M, or Arkansas Pine Bluff in the first round.
Yeah, of course, that separation there over Alabama A&M, courtesy of the big win on Monday night, is Alabama State, who came to Baton Rouge. Had quite an offensive performance here for Alabama State against the Jaguars, sitting up top at 13-1, and there you see Alcorn State, as we talked about, needing to get some work done on the road and some help if they want to find themselves in Birmingham.
You saw at the bottom of the standings, too, where Alcorn State really needs a couple of wins down the stretch to have a chance to get into Birmingham's field of 8. Right now, they're at the bottom end of the standings. 15 seconds left in the half. Jags will hold for one shot here. Brandon White gets it off to Jazz Williams with 8 to go. Williams will drive into the paint and take a shot and hit it. 4 seconds to go. Jaguars lead by 8. And that'll do it going into the locker room. So Southern will take an 8-point lead into halftime. The score is 42 to 34. The Jaguars lead by 8. When we come back at halftime, we'll have halftime highlights and stats. We'll also talk to the lone senior on the Southern women's team, Deidre Jackson, and have plenty more from the Bluff as the Jaguars lead the Braves by 8. We'll have more from Southern University right after this on CST. This will be.
Talk to me. Check. 1, 2. Randy? Hey, Randy? Check. 1, 2. All right.
Did you ever see the final box of your game yet? Can you hear me, Deidre?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you guys see their final numbers? Did you see what Jamie did?
Yes, sir.
16 to 14. Pretty solid.
Let's see if I can keep this out of the way.
All right.
You can do whatever you want to with your hand.
Okay.
What's this for?
High school.
Oh, that's your A-Meet Warriors?
Yes, sir.
Yo. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, do you and Tiffany play together for 1 year at A-Meet?
No, sir.
2 years?
Yes,
Her
sir.
freshman and sophomore year?
Yes, sir.
All right. So are you an influence on her coming here? Not so much?
Yes, sir. Just a little bit.
A little bit?
Okay.
halftime of the men's game, the Southern Jaguars leading Alcorn State by the score of 42-34, an 8-point lead at the half. That's the same thing the women's team had at the half, an 8-point lead over Alcorn State. We were joined by the lone senior for the women, Deidre Jackson. And Deidre, here you are, your final home game on the Bluff. Did it go through, did it feel like it just went through in a blur since your years at Amite High School to come here to Southern?
Yeah, that really did.
Were you excited today more so? Here's senior day footage here of you getting handshakes from a lot of people that you've known here at Southern for a long time. Did you feel like today was an extra special day? Were you really looking forward to this one?
Yeah, I really was. This was a big day for me because, I mean, Coach gave me a second chance, and I just wanted to make the most of it. 19
points for you today, and your team, it seems like at different times this year, you've had big leads like you did today, 12 points in the second half, and then there's some laps, and that happened today, but then you guys were able to recover. Does that seem like, you know, your team has done that occasion where there have been little glimpses where you've let the team back in, but you're able to recover and finish it off?
Yeah.
What was the key today? Getting it down to the low post? It seemed like you were really trying to work the taller girls into the game.
Yes, sir. When Jamie's scoring, she's good. So we just wanted her to score for us, and layups beat jump shots any day.
Well, Jamie Floyd had the big game, 16 and 14. You had 19 to lead all scorers. Kim Griffin also had 9 and 12. So the ladies that were replacing Frida down low are really getting the job done. I have to ask you guys, though, lately, your three-point shot hasn't been there as a team, and you didn't take any. You only took one today. You only took one in the last game. Has Coach Pugh and the coaching staff tried to get you guys to stay inside the arc lately?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, when the mid-range is working for us, we can win. So that's what we want to stick with.
You guys maintain second place, and now you increase your lead by a game and a half over Alabama State because they lost to Prairie View today. If you get that 2 seed, you'll get the extra day rest in the tournament. Is that important with only having 9 ladies that are healthy and really 8 and a half today, because it seems like everybody's banged up a little bit?
Yeah, that really is important for us. You know, we go out there and we get a day of rest, and hopefully, who do we have?
Right now, you're in second place over Alabama State, so you would play the 7th team. We're not sure who that would be, but you would have that extra day of rest.
Okay, that's just more preparation for us.
And the fact that you've beaten Prairie View A&M has to help because you're the only one that's beaten them.
Right.
So you've got at least that knowledge that you can get it done against number 1.
Yeah.
What about your play this year? Have you been pretty happy? I know you wanted to finish your senior year with Frida, your roommate, but she went down, and here's some of the highlights from what you've done this season. You pretty happy with the way things have gone without her?
It was hard. It was heartbreaking. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I wish she was out here with me, but not so lucky. But I'm very appreciative to Jamie and Kim for stepping up.
She said you guys were kind of like the Kobe and Shaq combo. You wanted to finish out like that?
Yes, I really did.
Final thing, Deidre. Sandy Pugh, she's been here for 9 years. With these injuries and with the fact that you guys are still second place, do you look at what she's done with her assistants as maybe one of the best jobs that you've seen?
Yeah. I mean, we thought it was going to be a whole lot easier with Frida, and when she went down, everybody was looking around, and Coach just stepped in and told us we still have the talent to win it, and we believe in her, and she believes in us, so we just gonna go on that.
All right, show off your Amite Warriors wristband on our way out. There you go. Representing Amite right there. Deidre, congratulations on a great career here at Southern. Thank you for joining us. Deidre Jackson, our guest here at halftime. The men are leading the Alcorn State Braves by 8 at the half. It is 42-34. Back with some highlights, first half stats, and more as we continue from the Bluff after this.
42-34 the score at the half. Southern Jaguars lead Alcorn State by 8. Relatively high scoring game for Southern, but that's kind of what we expected coming into this one with Alcorn State's up and down offense and defense for that matter.
And two teams playing very evenly so far through the first. Not a lot of numbers separating the two when you look at the statistics and the scoring. And we'll take a look at some of the first half highlights to show you how things developed in this first half. And when we show you the numbers, you'll see pretty even across the board as Alcorn State got out to the start, the steal, and then the layup on the inside. It's Jonathan Boyd doing the honors, but back down the other end of the floor. Watch the rebound, strong putback for the big fella. Barry Honore gets 2 on the inside. Detroit Jackson, that's the SWAC's leading scorer. He's also this game's leading scorer. Not surprisingly, 2 of his first half high, 14 points. But hey, anything you can do, I can do better. Julius Ingram. Then we thought this was a 3, went back and looked, second notice, they called it a 2 from Stephon Wiley. So the next time down, how about you step a little further away? No doubt about that one being a 3-pointer as he would drill the tray from the outside. Then Barry Honore stepping out, the big fella showing you some of his soft touch and range. And how about a little defense? No body contact, just a clean block for Barry Honore. Jaguars go into the half up 42-34. Take a look at the numbers in the first half. Field goal percentage, both teams within 5% of each other. Rebounds really the story. Southern out rebounding 22-16, but you see 8 steals from Alcorn State. Todd, you've been talking about it all first half long. The Braves are going to try to push it up and down the floor. They have no problem scoring. They've got the SWAC's leading score. Problem is, can they stop the other team from scoring? So far, they haven't been able to do so.
Right now, it's a 42-34 Southern lead. We'll have more with a look at the top individual scores when we come back to the Bluff. More from the campus of Southern University after this.